Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me. This is Vicious Whispers with Mark Tullius, episode 21. Today we'll be listening to chapter 14 of Brightside. After this one, there's only 5 more chapters until it's done, and then we will be digging into Try Not to Die in Brightside. We're about to start recording that one. My friend Donna Gonzalez, who co-authored the book with me, she will be narrating it. She's also a voice actress. And she's done some of, I think she recorded Changed Man, Mutual Understanding, and also the book that I wrote with my daughter, Triple S Agency. So she's going to start recording that. We're going to have a major contest with it, where I'm going to see the grand prize, don't know yet, probably between $500 to $1,000, but it's going to be for the person that can get the least amount of deaths, the person that can get through the book dying the least amount of times. Definitely has to be better than my daughter did. She's currently going through it. She's only on chapter 3, but right now she has made 2 of the correct choices out of 3. She also probably heard a lot of this stuff since we discussed it on the way to school many times and different scenes I've run by her. But she's digging it. She's enjoying it. She's only 10, but she reads at a much higher level. And the Try Not to Dies are aimed for young adults as far as language goes. Still pretty violent, but she said it's pretty similar to what she's reading now. I won't let her read lots of my other stuff. I haven't let her read Brightside, a little too adult. And then the same goes with Twisted Reunion. She asked recently if she could read that. I was like, fuck, no, you can't. I didn't say fuck no to her. I said no. I was like, I don't think it's a good idea yet. But it's cool that she wants to do it. She enjoyed Trying Not to Die at Grandma's house. And yeah, she likes that she's the very first person to be able to read Try Not to Die in Brightside. So I thought that's pretty cool. I didn't record a podcast last week for a couple different reasons. Mainly because I'm fucking a little bit lazy. Got a lot of other shit going on, man. It's hard to balance everything. Trying to figure out all the family stuff, writing, and then any extracurricular activities that I want to do. If I want to do yoga, that means I don't get home. My day doesn't start until 11 in the morning, pretty much. If I want to meet with friends to discuss projects, that's going to take a couple hours. If I have a phone call with friends like that, everything takes fucking too much time. And then there's laundry, all the other bullshit of being a stay-at-home mom. So I didn't get a chance to do it last week, but not a big deal. Doing it today. I think the last time we talked, I was just about to head out to train jiu-jitsu at 10th Planet headquarters in LA. I got there a little bit late, but I was like, yeah, it's still worth it. I should go. I was intimidated, but once I got in there, it was fun. Got to work with my friends. Got to work with Ben Saunders, the UFC MMA artist, who I talk about in Unlocking the Cage. I probably spent more time interviewing Ben than anyone else. One of the days we did at my house, like 4 hours of, might have been like 3 hours actual recording time. So yeah, I got to know Ben pretty well. Trained with a bunch at 10th Planet, and then it was cool to spend Thursday with him training because we hadn't rolled before. But just that opportunity to be able to roll with a black belt like that has so much experience, so much, but just so much ability, and the way he worked with me, like he let me do stuff, he let me try stuff. He wasn't just smashing me the whole time. He's a great partner to work with. So it was awesome being able to train with him, with my other buddies there. But then the next day I realized, like, fuck, my neck kind of hurts. And then I got adjusted. And then the next week, my neck was still hurting. Definitely something was off. Got adjusted again. And then I had to get acupuncture. And so after the acupuncture, I was feeling pretty good. I think that was Thursday. And I was seriously considering going back to train, but I was like, fuck, I'm going to do it all to my body again. And I realized what the biggest problem is I'm not doing any strength and conditioning. I'm doing yoga like maybe 3 days a week and some stretching at night, but that's not preparing me for jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's definitely getting me more flexible. It's preparing me in ways, but it's not, I need to add some strength and conditioning if I do want to be able to go in there and try working full speed with these guys that are training every day. Because my body thinks I can do it, but it's going to pay for it afterwards. So it was fun, but I'm taking a little break. What else is going on? We got the covers for Trying to Die at Grandma's house and in Brightside. So I'm going to fix those up, get those all ready for the contest. One of the things I did last week was start getting ready for the LA Times Festival of Books. Generally, I leave shit till last minute. This time I'm planning ahead. I went through, saw how many books I had, figured out how many I needed to order, did all that. All I have left to do is order posters and some little bullshit. And that's still 6 weeks away. So April 13th, 14th, LA Times Festival of Books, booth 910. Definitely swing by if you're able to make it. Should be fun. I think I'm going to have my buddy Jeff Campbell, who's the artist working on the covers of Messiah, The Try Not to Dies. He's doing a lot of stuff with Try Not to Die with me. He's also making the little 3-minute video we have, the animated video. So he's doing that. He just did a commercial for Ain't No Messiah, which should be ready in a couple days, which is awesome. Little 30-second clip. And he's probably going to be the voice of Messiah. I'm having him do the audiobook. And just the take I had him do for a voiceover the other day for the Messiah ad was awesome. So he's a great actor, so it should be fun getting him to do the audiobook. I was having T. Quillen do all my books, but with this series, there's 5 different books in Tales of the Blessed and Broken, and they're all written in first person, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. I really don't want the same narrator doing each of them because it's first person. So I think for individual standalone books, that's awesome, but for this one, I'm going to switch it up. So I think I'm going to have Jeff do book number 1 as the Messiah. Then I'll have T. Quillen do book number 2 as the guy from The Bridge, or whatever I'm going to call it. That's a ways off. Before I do that, I will definitely have Beyond Brightside finished, and T will definitely be recording that one as well. I don't know what else is going on. T just gave me Unlocking the Cage. He finally had a chance to record it all. So I need to listen to that audiobook this week, make sure there's no things that need fixing on that. I'll send that out. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. So definitely got my hands full. A lot of shit going on. Not sure what's going to happen this week. Definitely want to fit in yoga, maybe some jiu-jitsu, maybe some strength and conditioning. We'll see. But definitely lots of stuff for the family. Fun stuff. Yeah, can't wait. Okay, so this is another long chapter. Last week, I think it was like 37 or 38 minutes, chapter 13. Found out a lot of stuff. If you didn't listen to it, definitely go back. That was one of my, I don't know, it was probably one of my favorite scenes, favorite chapters to write. This one is also pretty cool. Chapter 14, it's 32 minutes, not quite as long. Not a whole lot to discuss afterwards, so I think we're going to do like we did last week. We'll just cut out right now, listen to the story, and then I will see you guys next week. Thanks again so much for listening, for watching, whatever you guys are doing. And please join me again next week for Chapter 15. All right, guys, thanks so much. Hope you enjoy the story, and I'll talk to you next week. Later.
Chapter 14. It's lunchtime, and Sarah still hasn't come back. I'm at my desk with the door closed, lights off, acting like nobody's home. I'm on no sleep and little food. I know I can't keep this up. But how can I eat? Not when all I can think of is Rachel and what's left of her. The saddest secret I've ever held. Cleaning up Rachel's body was my form of grief. I kept crying, holding her in my arms, remembering the good times. I kept stroking her neck, because her cheek was gone. I just cradled her in my arms, rocking back and forth, apologizing for all the things I'd done, for the things I wouldn't say. I told her she was beautiful, especially her nose, the one she hated, the one somewhere in pieces behind the nightstand. For some reason, I sang Dad's stupid song about fish heads. I told Rachel Dad would have liked her, even though he probably wouldn't have. It was okay to fib. The part of her that knew if I was lying was splattered all over the ceiling, the wall, the bed. It was the part she just wanted gone. I wondered what was going through her head when her thumb pushed down on that trigger, besides the buckshot. I hoped it wasn't about me. Prayed she didn't go out on such a sour note. I wanted to believe that she was picturing that tropical beach, just her and the surf. No one around for miles. Not a single soul with all their fucked up, twisted thoughts. Just her, the sand, and a giant pina colada. I kept rocking, picturing her turning the shotgun around, getting her fingers curled under the handle between her knees. Her thumb fits perfect. The barrel's so long, the hole's so big and black and forever. To get this right, she's leaning forward, bending her head, mouth open. The metal's cold, but clean. The barrel digs into the roof of her mouth, the front sight splitting her lower lip. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. It never did. Her eyes water when she pushes the shotgun higher, tearing into the flesh, so she knows exactly where it is, making sure the angle's just right. That's all she wants. Something to be right. For once. Please. All she needs is 10 pounds of pressure. 10 pounds, and all of her pain will be gone. No more thoughts, ever again. She's got the meaty part of her thumb on the trigger. She's closing her eyes. 10 pounds isn't much. Just a quick shove. A quick shove, and everything stops. No more Brightside. A bead of sweat's running down her nose, the one that's now in pieces. Her mouth's filled with saliva. It's dribbling out of the corners down her chin, just like when I tried to make her drink in the cabin. She needs to hurry. Almost there. She's thinking, goodbye. No one around to hear. She's thinking, sorry for all the men who put her through hell. She's picturing me, her father, the lacrosse team. She's putting more pressure on the trigger. It's now or never. The loudest bang, but she only hears 1/10. All her problems blasting out of her head. Then silence. Peace. Holding Rachel got me thinking about Stephen. A few days after he passed, his parents had a funeral. There was some old Chinese lady playing harp, the women wearing veils, the men holding them lightly, rubbing their arms for comfort. Stephen's mom even rented a swan to waddle around and stretch its neck as they lowered Stephen's little casket into the ground. I begged Dad not to make me go, but he said every man needs to face death. It's coming whether we like it or not. Stephen's mom threw herself on the casket. Stephen's dad pried her off. I'd never heard such screams. The swan apparently hadn't either and started attacking Stephen's aunt. Dad told me to help, but the thing bit my hand and took off for the pond. Still, Stephen got a proper burial, something I couldn't give Rachel. If I had called anyone, they'd find the shotgun, and they'd drug and interrogate me until I cracked. Dad would finally get his wish to be in Brightside, but no one else would ever leave. They'd find the cave, seal it off, and we'd all be stuck. Things would change. They'd bring more boots, more cameras, making sure none of us ever tried anything like this again. I stared into Lovelot's eyes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But people are depending on me, and I've already let too many people down. I lifted what was left of Rachel into my arms and carried her to the closet. Then, with my parents' voices telling me time was running out, I started cleaning. I put on some yellow rubber gloves. I started with the big chunks, tossing them into a black trash bag, each piece plopping onto the one before. I ran out of paper towels, had to use the extra set of sheets. I kept pouring bleach, scrubbing the floors, never really getting all of the blood and bits, just sort of swirling it around and around. I took 2 showers, dug my nails into the soap, scraping out the little flecks of Rachel. I scrubbed so hard at my skin, I thought I'd reach bone. Then I air dried, because I'd used both bath towels on the floor. I brushed my teeth and combed my hair like it was any other morning here in Brightside. Everything's fine, just going to work. I swept the last puddles towards the kitchen, made sure there was nothing left that could leak into the hall. I stood in front of the open closet, told Rachel I was sorry, but this would all be over soon. Someone would take her to the cemetery, bury her like she deserved. Then I closed the door. The sun was already beginning to rise, soft reds and yellows sifting up from the darkness. Day 100 had officially been going for hours, but it wasn't until the sun took its place above the horizon that this really began. Sarah finally comes back into the office right after lunch. She looks like she's just witnessed an execution. For a second, I wonder if I'm thinking about Rachel, but I'm not. I'm just staring at Sarah, wondering what the hell happened. She picks up the rose off her desk, the one meant for Rachel, the one from Alex. I'm going to be going away for a while. Her voice so soft and confused. It's as if she's still refusing to believe it. The council decided I needed some time in the cabin. For what? You haven't done anything. The roof is off limits, and I broke the rule. She turns to me. Already in my head. She smiles. Don't worry. You're fine. Sharon informed them it was part of your treatment. You've been cleared of all infractions. Sarah, you don't have to go. I can talk. She shakes her head as if she's trying to fling out every single thought of mine, every moment we shared. Don't! Sarah, no, Joe, you've done enough already. And it's my fault. My fault for thinking. Sarah, you don't understand. Everyone's leaving. Tonight. This place won't be safe. It's your last shot. No, Joe. It's yours. I'm not coming. Sarah wipes the mascara running down her cheek. Now, I have a few hours to spend with Danny, so I'm going to. She gets to the door, opens it, but stops. She's thinking of asking me to stay, to put an end to this before I get myself killed. Then, she wonders if things wouldn't be better that way. She clicks her teeth, upset at herself, at me. She leaves, never once looking back. I find Sharon in her office. She's with this frail Spanish man, one of the new Brightsiders. I shout at her. What the hell did you do? Hello, Joe. As you can see, I'm with a patient. The little Spanish man stares at me with his sad eyes, but mine are locked on Sharon's. You can't do this, I tell her. You can't send Sarah. Let's lower our voices. Unless you want to go with your girlfriend, that can be arranged, you know. I realize the Spanish man speaks no English. He says, ¿Debo ir? No, Sharon says. Joe's leaving. No estoy, I tell her. Then I turn to the man and say, Salir. The man picks up his hat from his lap and scurries out of the room. Sharon forces a smile and closes the door. Glad to see those tapes are paying off. You can't lock her away in... Quiet! You want us all to end up in there? Now, just let... Why did you do this? Because she was never going to come. You don't know that. Actually, I do. And she knows too much. It'll get her hurt. She'll be safe there. Safe? Yes. And Danny? He'll be joining her shortly. Sharon and her perfect plan. I realize I have no idea who this woman is. First, she's spewing New Age bullshit. Now she's the leader of a revolution. No one's ever what they seem on the surface. You need to go back to work, Sharon says. Finish the day. I picture my office. Sarah's desk, the one that used to be Rachel's. Rachel, clumped in my closet like some disfigured sex doll. Sharon's eyes widen, horrified. She has no idea. It wasn't part of her plan. Sharon's not perfect after all. She just made herself believe she could handle things. Just like I made myself believe I could pull this off. Joe. But I want nothing to do with Sharon's thoughts. I walk out, head back to my office. People pass by my door, which is thankfully closed. I hear Carlos, so I click out of solitaire. I can't tell how many people are with him, but I guess 3 or 4. The high heel's either Francis or Gloria. That laugh, all Alex. Poor Alex, thinking his rose is going to win Rachel's heart. I consider telling him he can have it. It's sitting in my closet, inside Rachel's chest. Carlos and the others start laughing, wanting everyone to hear how happy they are. I open my sales spreadsheet and customer list so it looks like I'm working. I don't even know why I'm still pretending, but I'm on automatic. Shock does that to me. It's keeping me from losing it. I start rearranging pictures of condos into regions. The 2-bedroom with kitchenette is South America. The penthouse with the hammocks on the balcony is in the Australia-New Zealand pile. Everything has its little place. Everything's separated, like Brightsiders from normals. Sharon's secret club, and those better off in the cabin. People like Sarah and Danny. Alex speaks way too loud, same as always. What do you say, Carlos? Oscars for dinner? Carlos is right outside my door. I don't want to make plans yet, he said. I have a feeling about today. I sit up and wonder if Carlos is one of Sharon's elite, the chosen few who get to leave. I asked Sharon why not everyone. She said there were too many liabilities, too many who'd become institutionalized. And part of that was her fault. Her Zen bullshit actually convinced some of these pathetic souls Brightside was for the best, that they'd never want to leave if they just opened themselves up to the possibilities, the wonder of this mountain town. Sadly, that's exactly what's going to happen to these poor fucks. They'll never leave. Not after today. Carlos knocks. I put the phone to my ear. He pops his head in, sees me nodding. Yes, right on the beach, where you can rent jet skis, I say to my imaginary client. Carlos whispers, How's it going? I give him the thumbs up. Carlos winks, closes the door. His shirts are always vertical stripes. Today's is red. It makes him look like a candy cane. I have to piss, but they're all standing there, asking what everybody's plans are for the weekend. I want to go out and say a few of us will be dead at the bottom of the mountain. Might even get a few bullet holes if we're up for it. The rest can forget about sleeping in. They'll be in the cabin soon enough. My bladder's throbbing. But I wait until the laughter's gone. I take a peek, see a clear shot to the hallway bathroom, start humming to block everything out. My pace makes me more conspicuous than if I set myself on fire, but I make it to the urinal in the back corner, away from Lenny popping a zit in the mirror. I aim at the drain, counting off random numbers so I can't think of anything else. Lenny leaves. I stuff myself back in my pants, walk over to the sinks, and do my best not to look in the mirror. Men don't cry in bathrooms, at least when there's a chance another dude might come in. I wash my hands and notice a small dribble of blood where my thumbnail disappears into the skin. I scrub and scrub and scrub, seeing Rachel's faceless body, my hands swirling around the contents of her head on the floor. When I take my thumb out from under the water, I realize it's my blood, not Rachel's, because the blood dribbles out again. I'm drying my hands when Wendell, top salesman for the past 3 months, hurries in, all 400 pounds of him between me and the wall, saying "excuse me" as he sticks his hand under the faucet, his massive paws splashing water all over the counter. There are 3 paper towels left. I wait for Wendell to finish and hand them to him so he can finally take a piss. Wendell won't touch his dick unless he washes his hands first. I have no idea why. Just his thing. Wendell's spraying the blue cake, thinking about the weekend, possibly barbecuing a nice burger in the Brightside Park. There's no way Wendell's part of Sharon's plan. I suddenly feel sorry for him. That big dumb bear, stuck here with the rest of the ones Sharon decided are too risky. Wendell still hates me for what happened in the bar when I let out all of my thoughts about everyone, all of my judgments. I give him a little smile to apologize, to say goodbye. He looks at me like I'm hitting on him and quickly exits, not even thinking he should wash after handling himself. The emergency exit is down the hall on the other side of the bathrooms. I consider heading for it, taking it to the roof so I can perform Paul's plunge, but with the helicopter still hovering, I won't even make it to the ledge. This is the helicopter Sharon says I have to take care of, as if I have any chance. Most likely I'll end up in smaller pieces than Rachel. That's probably what Sharon wants. After barging into her office, I'm proving to be the biggest risk of all. It's probably just another part of Sharon's clusterfuck of a plan, to use me as a scapegoat. Everything's accelerated because of Wayne. Since he broke out, the Boots have been patrolling, searching for anything amiss, for his crazy ass. Sheriff Melvin has disabled a lot of the cameras, according to Sharon, which is why they haven't found Wayne. It's buying us time, just like all the bleach in my room, but the Boots will eventually fix the cameras, so we have to be ready. A big spotlight will be put on every nook and cranny. The whole town won't be able to sneeze without someone watching. They'll see us gathering, find the mine shaft. Our one dumb shot at escape will be gone, and anyone in Sharon's special club will be locked away, some in the cabin, others down with the orange jumpsuits. Sharon and I will end up together, most likely underground. The rest of my days with that fucking lunatic, who truly believes she's a revolutionary. I can't deny she's been impressive. For almost 2 years, she's integrated, assimilated, wedged her skinny butt into everything Brightside. I can't imagine trying to pretend for that long. I couldn't even keep Sarah from Rachel. I couldn't tell Rachel I loved her. I'm the fucking coward Dad always warned me about. The crazy leads the men to battle, but the coward gets them killed. I'm not going to make it if I keep thinking like this. I have to stay positive, get through the day. That's what Dad also said. Worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow. And if it doesn't come, then your worries are over. I can't do anything but worry. It doesn't help being trapped in my office, hearing my coworkers out there bitch about the coffee, the cold weather, the lack of selection in the vending machine. They have no idea what's happening around them. But it's probably for the best. It's the little things that keep us from putting a shotgun in our mouths and blowing out our wonderfully gifted brains. That's what I'm thinking as the clock refuses to budge. Rachel ran out of distractions. The inconsequential crap that keeps us from seeing how awful our lives really are. She knew I didn't love her, that no one ever would, not like she needed. So, she took control, found the only foolproof way out of Brightside. I kept picturing the night I visited Rachel in the cabin. Her sitting so quiet and peaceful, each moment a gentle breeze. Not like now. The wind gone, everything still. Rachel shoved in next to Dad's broken fishing pole. Broken Rachel. Broken gifts. I just can't stop breaking things. It's what I do. Yes, Rachel was broken when I met her. Then the cabin broke her more. But I had to go and finish the job. Next, it'll be Sarah. Then Danny. Stupid, happy Danny. The only person who's truly able to find good in anything. But the cabin will end that. They'll inject him, make him swallow the meds, and they'll kill the only spirit in Brightside worth saving. The idea of them destroying that gets me to my feet. I still have an hour of work left. Carlos might call the boots. But fuck it. Let them sound the alarm. This is the only chance I've got to make things right. The wind cuts across my face and makes my eyes water, so it looks like I'm crying as I walk through the square. I have my headphones on, and the people I pass think I'm on one of my strange walks. Only now I'm apparently working out to music that makes me weep. I don't care. I just need to get to Danny. Need to tell him to talk some sense into his sister. He's the only one who can get through to her. I'm sure he's scared right now, as Sarah tells him she's going to the cabin. She's probably telling him to be strong, that it's the only way they can get through this. Lodge 2 is just up ahead. I start to slow my pace. There's a car parked out front. And an ambulance. I'm too late. I start running. I can imagine Danny fighting off the boots trying to protect his sister. I see the gun pressed to the side of his head, him screaming for Sarah as they drag her from the room. I see the boots crushing his ribs, kicking in his belly. But as I rush in, there's only one person in the hallway. Blue jeans and black windbreaker, cell phone to his ear. He's pacing outside of a room near the stairs, the opposite end of Danny and Sarah's room. I usually stay away from the boots, but this guy's young and doesn't look that dangerous with his aw shucks face. Plus, morbid curiosity is all I seem to be seeking these days. I pass the elevator when he turns my way. He holds the phone to his chest and points over my shoulder. You need to turn around. I've never seen him before, but it's obvious he's weirded out. Whatever is in the room isn't good. I walk closer. The guy tries to use his big boy voice. Did you not hear me? I said turn around. I stop 4 feet from him, close enough to know he isn't counting numbers or singing songs. He can't get the image of rope out of his head. The rope on the other side of the door. I nod past him. Whose room is that? None of your damn business. He's not good at this, and thinks of Robert. I reach for the door and he jumps back like I'm attacking. His right hand slips inside his jacket. Stay back! This poor kid's shaking and has no idea what he's doing. He's scared, and it's going to get me shot. Light reflects off his wedding band a few inches below the gun's barrel. Don't take another step! My voice gets real calm, like I'm trying to put him to sleep. I know him, I say. You don't need to point that at me. He starts counting to himself, just like they trained him, to keep us out of the loop. He realizes he looks like an idiot, aiming at a shithead like me, and his fear gets washed out by embarrassment. Calm down, sir, he says, even though I'm the calmest I've been in months. There's a situation here, and you don't need to see this. I should have kept my goddamn mouth shut, but still said, I just saw Robert this morning. There's no reason for me to be here at all. I came here for Danny, not Robert. The guy sees my nerves showing and tells me to wait. He says he'll be right back. He slips into Robert's room. I think about running, but if I do, I might as well run straight to the cabin. I need to just stick, see whatever is behind that door, start crying, act like I'm getting sick, then leave. The guy didn't close the door behind him. I see a shadow swaying across the wall. I hear a voice. Who saw him? It's Palmer, the asshole who put the gun to my head, the fucker who wants to finish the job. I'm already turning, realize I've made a huge mistake, when Palmer's dirty fingers grab the door. His face, those mirrored sunglasses pointed straight at me. What's all this about? I have no choice but to turn around. Palmer sees me, and that creepy smile spreads across his acne-scarred cheeks. Can I help you? No, the truth. Just stick to the truth. I saw Robert yesterday. I thought you said this morning. I did, but I meant yesterday. Palmer lowers his sunglasses, studies me. I've made such a swamp of shit, and I keep diving deeper and deeper. Look, I say. Robert was talking about Wayne King. He said he was going to find him. The door opened a little more, and the smell of actual shit hit me. Yeah, pretty nasty stuff. Palmer opened the door all the way. He wanted me to see. Wanted to look me in the eyes when I did. The newbie stood a few feet from the window, the wooden chair lying across the kitchen floor, the giant square of plastic right in the center. Puddle of piss and shit on top of it. He was thinking Palmer was the coldest dude he'd ever worked with. Worse than his uncle that used to show him snuff films. I don't know why, but I'm walking in the room. Robert must have learned from Belinda, who fell from the fan when it couldn't hold her weight. He cut away a section of sheetrock in the ceiling. One end of the rope is wrapped around a 2x4, the other around his black turtleneck, covering that hole in his throat. He's swinging with his back to me. Palmer looks at me and pokes Robert in the ribs with his small baton, sends Robert swinging a few inches. Kind of low, Palmer says, So, when did you see him last? Yesterday. He was looking for Wayne. Robert's black microphone is dangling off the kitchen counter. No final words from Robert. What do you know about Wayne King? Palmer asks. I quietly remembered the first time I saw Wayne. It was after Crystal had kicked me out and I was thinking about Mom. Palmer's smile somehow gets creepier. There's no way a boot could be one of us, but I wasn't taking any chances. In case he was listening, I kept thinking about Wayne, about my mom, about Crystal. As disgusting as it is, it wasn't going to get me in trouble. Robert spins. His face is bigger than I remember. His skin all puffed out, tinged the lightest blue, just like his eyes, wide open, squiggly red lines surrounding them. But it's his tongue that paralyzes me. It's so big, pushed out all the way, the tip halfway down his chin. Palmer's walkie-talkie goes off, but he keeps staring at me, waiting for me to slip. Palmer, where the hell are you? A voice says. It sounds like Sheriff Melvin, but I can't be sure. Palmer's jaw clenches, the muscle that just below the ear flexing like a little tumor. Finally, he answers. Investigating the Madison case. He wants me to know I'm not going anywhere. I got Joe Nolan here. Melvin tells him they think they got a location on Wayne King, that he needs to get his ass over to the square. Palmer's still staring at me, and I'm just humming, trying to plug the leaking boat I call a brain. I'm trying not to think about Melvin, Sharon, her fortunate few. I close my eyes, breathe in the shit and piss puddle under Robert's swinging feet. The newbie runs over to Palmer and accidentally bumps Robert, sending him swinging again, spinning him like a giant marionette. This time another drop of piss lands on the floor, right next to my foot. The newbie just wants to get out of there. He says I obviously didn't do this, that they need to get to the square. Palmer extends his baton with a snap of his wrist. "You got 5 seconds to tell me what happened here," he says to me. I can't look at Palmer anymore. I stare at Robert spinning. And I don't know how in the hell I didn't notice it before. The front of Robert's briefs poking out. His little boner all that's left to say hello. "You really don't know?" I ask, suddenly kind of cocky. Palmer tilts his head, knows I'm hiding something, but Melvin is telling him to hurry. Palmer pokes me with the baton. "I'll be seeing you real soon. Count on it." I keep humming, staring at Robert's face, all big and blue.